Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola and released in 1992, is a visually stunning adaptation of the classic 1897 novel by Bram Stoker. The film begins with a prologue set in 1462, introducing the character of Vlad Dracula, a Romanian knight played by Gary Oldman. After a victorious battle against the Turks, Dracula returns to discover that his beloved wife, Elisabeta, has committed suicide, believing him to be dead. In a fit of rage and despair, Dracula renounces God and vows to rise from the grave, gaining immortality. This sets the stage for his transformation into the infamous Count Dracula, a centuries-old vampire living in a Transylvanian castle. Coppola's decision to use practical effects and in-camera tricks rather than relying on digital effects adds a unique, timeless quality to the film's visual storytelling. The narrative then shifts to the late 19th century, where we meet Jonathan Harker, portrayed by Keanu Reeves, a young solicitor who travels to Transylvania to assist Dracula with the purchase of an estate in England. Upon arriving at Dracula's castle, Harker is both captivated and unnerved by the Count's peculiar behavior and the eerie atmosphere. As Dracula sets his sights on Harker's fiancée, Mina Murray, played by Winona Ryder, he imprisons Harker and embarks on a journey to London, driven by the belief that Mina is the reincarnation of his lost wife, Elisabeta. Meanwhile, Harker struggles to escape the castle, encountering the seductive and dangerous vampire brides, adding an element of gothic horror that is both seductive and terrifying. Back in London, the film introduces a cast of characters who become entwined in Dracula's dark web. Mina's friend Lucy Westenra, played by Sadie Frost, becomes one of Dracula's first victims, falling ill under mysterious circumstances. Her suitors, including Dr. Jack Seward, Quincy Morris, and Arthur Holmwood, are perplexed by her condition and seek the help of the eccentric and knowledgeable Professor Abraham Van Helsing, portrayed by Anthony Hopkins. Van Helsing quickly identifies Lucy's ailment as the work of a vampire and sets out to save her soul and stop Dracula. The film masterfully interweaves themes of forbidden desire and the battle between good and evil, with Van Helsing serving as a crucial figure in the fight against the undead. As Dracula continues his pursuit of Mina, the film explores a complex and haunting relationship between the vampire and his supposed reincarnated love. Mina finds herself drawn to Dracula, experiencing visions of her past life as Elisabeta. This connection complicates her relationship with Harker, who eventually escapes from Dracula's castle and returns to England, determined to marry Mina and protect her from Dracula's influence. The love triangle adds an emotional depth to the narrative, with Coppola expertly balancing moments of romance and horror. The lush cinematography and opulent costume design further enhance the gothic atmosphere, immersing the audience in a world that is both beautiful and macabre. The climax of Bram Stoker's Dracula is a tense and dramatic showdown between Dracula and the group led by Van Helsing. As they race against time to save Mina and destroy the Count, the film builds to a thrilling conclusion in Dracula's Transylvanian castle. In the end, it is Mina's love that ultimately frees Dracula from his eternal torment, as she helps him find peace in death. The film closes with a poignant scene that echoes the prologue, bringing Dracula's tragic journey full circle. Coppola's adaptation is a bold and operatic interpretation of Stoker's novel, blending elements of horror, romance, and fantasy to create a cinematic experience that is both timeless and unforgettable. I have crossed oceans of time to find you. This line, spoken by Dracula to Mina, emphasizes the timelessness and depth of true love and obsession, suggesting that genuine connections transcend the boundaries of time and space. The blood is the life, and it shall be mine. This quote reflects the idea that life is precious and powerful, symbolizing the essential nature of vitality and the lengths one might go to possess it. Do not put your faith in such trinkets of deceit. This statement warns against relying on superficial things, encouraging one to seek truth and authenticity rather than being swayed by false appearances. There is much to be learned from beasts. This quote suggests that wisdom and understanding can be found in observing nature, highlighting the value of learning from all forms of life. We are all but dust and shadows. This line underscores the transient nature of human existence, reminding us of our mortality and the importance of living a meaningful life. There are darknesses in life, and there are lights, and you are one of the lights, the light of all lights. This quote celebrates the presence of positivity and hope amidst adversity, emphasizing the impact of those who bring light into others' lives. Take me away from all this death. This plea highlights a desire for escape from suffering and mortality, reflecting the human longing for peace and renewal. The world seems full of good men, even if there are monsters in it. This observation points to the duality of human nature, recognizing that goodness exists despite the presence of evil. To walk with me, you must die to your breathing life and be reborn of mine. This proposition symbolizes transformation and the sacrifices required to embrace a new existence, often linked to profound change and renewal. I give you life eternal, everlasting love, the power of the storm and the beasts of the earth. This promise captures the allure of immortality and power, exploring the seductive nature of eternal life and its potential costs. I am longing to be with you, and by the sea, where we can talk together freely and build our castles in the air. This romantic sentiment underscores the power of dreams and aspirations shared by lovers, emphasizing the beauty of imagination and companionship. Absinthe is the aphrodisiac of the self. The green fairy who lives in the absinthe wants your soul. This line reflects the intoxicating nature of desire and indulgence, cautioning against the seductive pull of substances that may lead one astray. I am the monster that breathing men would kill. I am Dracula. This self-identification highlights the acceptance of one's darker nature, acknowledging the fear and power associated with being different or feared. You think you can destroy me with your idols? I who served the cross, who commanded nations. This challenge questions the power of symbols and faith against personal conviction and past deeds, exploring the struggle between belief and history. Enter freely and of your own will. This invitation emphasizes the importance of free will and choice in shaping one's destiny, highlighting the significance of personal agency. I shall rise from my own death, to avenge hers with all the powers of darkness. This vow encapsulates the themes of vengeance and resurrection, exploring the lengths one might go for love and justice beyond the grave. There is no life in this body. This declaration acknowledges the emptiness of existence without true life or purpose, reflecting a philosophical contemplation on what it means to truly live. We are strong, each in our purpose, and we are all more strong together. This statement highlights the power of unity and collective strength, emphasizing the importance of collaboration and shared goals. Love never dies. This timeless declaration points to the enduring nature of love, suggesting its persistence beyond physical boundaries and even death itself. I am nothing, lifeless, soulless, hated and feared. I am dead to all the world. This reflection on identity and alienation explores themes of self-worth and societal rejection, pondering the impact of being disconnected from humanity. Francis Ford Coppola's unique filming technique. Director Francis Ford Coppola insisted on using only practical effects and no CGI to replicate the look and feel of early cinema, which was a bold move for a film made in 1992. Gary Oldman's painful costume. Gary Oldman, who played Count Dracula, had to wear a costume that weighed around 75 pounds, making it extremely difficult to move, especially during the scenes filmed in the heat of the summer. The use of shadow puppets. To create eerie and otherworldly atmospheres, Coppola employed shadow puppets and old-school camera tricks reminiscent of the silent film era, adding a unique visual layer to the movie. Winona Ryder's influence on the film. Winona Ryder was instrumental in getting the film made, as she brought the script to Coppola's attention after they had originally met to discuss another project that fell through. Keanu Reeves' accent struggles. Keanu Reeves, who played Jonathan Harker, received criticism for his English accent, which he later admitted was due to the stress of filming multiple projects back-to-back. Annie Lennox's award-winning song. The closing credits feature the song Love Song for a Vampire by Annie Lennox, which became a hit and was praised for its haunting melody and lyrics that captured the film's gothic romance. Anthony Hopkins' dual role. Anthony Hopkins not only played Professor Abraham Van Helsing, but also provided the voice for the priest during the opening sequence, showcasing his versatile acting skills. The film's connection to Coppola's family. Coppola cast several of his family members in small roles, including his son Roman Coppola, who served as the second-unit director, and his granddaughter Gia Coppola, who appeared as a child in the film. Oldman's bat transformation scene. The bat transformation scene was achieved using a combination of prosthetics and mechanical effects, taking hours to apply and showing Coppola's commitment to practical effects. The film's influence on fashion. The costume designed by Eiko Ishioka was so impactful that it influenced fashion trends of the early 90s, particularly with its mix of Victorian and Gothic styles. One of the most captivating aspects of Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula is its commitment to authenticity and old-world charm, achieved with the innovative use of practical effects. Unlike many films of its time, Coppola decided against using modern CGI, opting instead for in-camera effects to create the film's eerie atmosphere. This decision was partly influenced by his desire to pay homage to early cinema's magical quality, akin to the works of Georges Méliès. For instance, the scene where Dracula's shadow operates independently was achieved by having a second actor mimic Gary Oldman's movements behind a screen, a technique that added a layer of unsettling realism to the supernatural elements of the film. Behind the scenes, the production of Bram Stoker's Dracula was as intense and dramatic as the film itself. To prepare for his role as a titular vampire, Gary Oldman reportedly secluded himself for weeks, immersing himself in the character's psyche. This dedication to method acting created a palpable tension on set, especially during scenes of Winona Ryder, whose character, Mina, shared an intricate emotional bond with Dracula. Interestingly, the tension between Oldman and Ryder was not just fictional. They had a strained relationship off-camera, which Coppola believed added authenticity to their complex on-screen interactions. Adding layers of intrigue, the film is sprinkled with hidden Easter eggs and nods to the vampire lore that inspired it. One such nod is the incorporation of the historical figure Vlad the Impaler, whom Dracula is revealed to be based on, weaving real-world history with fiction. Additionally, eagle-eyed viewers might notice subtle references to previous Dracula adaptations, including a brief homage to the iconic shadow of Nosferatu. Coppola intentionally designed these references to create a rich tapestry of vampire mythology, inviting fans to explore the intricate connections between different Dracula stories. Psychologically, Bram Stoker's Dracula delves into themes of love, obsession, and immortality, presenting Dracula not just as a monster, but as a tragic figure driven by an insatiable longing for his lost love. This portrayal challenges viewers to question the nature of monstrosity and sympathy. The film uses vivid, sometimes hallucinogenic visuals to explore these complex emotions, symbolizing Dracula's internal conflict between his human desires and his vampiric instincts. This psychological depth is further enhanced by Wojciech Killer's haunting score, which accentuates the film's emotional intensity and the tormented pathos of its characters. The impact and legacy of Bram Stoker's Dracula are evident in its influence on the vampire genre and beyond. Its unique interpretation of the Dracula mythos set a new standard for Gothic horror, blending romance, horror, and historical drama in a way that had not been seen before. The film's emphasis on fidelity to the source material inspired a resurgence of interest in classic literary adaptations, paving the way for future films to explore more nuanced and faithful retellings of beloved stories. Its success also reinforced the viability of horror as a genre capable of artistic and critical acclaim, influencing directors and filmmakers to experiment with similar themes and styles. Overall, Bram Stoker's Dracula remains a seminal work in the realm of horror cinema, celebrated for its artistic ambition and its daring reinterpretation of a classic tale. Its blend of traditional filmmaking techniques with modern psychological edge ensures its status as both a timeless classic and a subject of continuous study and admiration. For those new to the film, it offers a rich, multi-layer experience that goes beyond mere scares, inviting audiences to delve deeper into the mysteries of the human condition as reflected in its vampiric protagonist. In this way, Coppola's masterpiece continues to captivate and inspire new generations of filmmakers and fans alike.